Deku looks like he's about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2023, and I'm here for it. Not only is he chillin' with the former number one hero, he has the top 3 current heroes on his back. They're working together to take down the League of Villains, and even though this is a more solo Deku adventure right now, given that he single-handedly took down Muscular round 2 and honestly didn't even look like he broke a sweat, the fact that they're all kind of like in cahoots and they're working together, seemingly Deku's separated himself from everyone else to keep them safe, but he's not being an idiot about it. He's actually working with the strongest heroes that they currently still have active. So everything about this just kind of feels like it's intelligently written. It's peak hype, but we're seeing Deku in a way we've never experienced. He's literally using his quirks like a utility belt. He's basically Batman. He's pulling out smokescreen. He's pulling out whips to make him look like Spider-Man. He's got his Spidey sense going. And the fact that he no longer has to rely on using like, okay, can I get to 100% without breaking my body? Doesn't even have to worry about that anymore, as seen by his constant switching around. Characters don't know how to handle him. This is absolutely peak My Hero right now. Before we jump any further, do gotta mention we got that full live reaction available on my Patreon, so if you want to see my full uncut thoughts, definitely head on over there and consider supporting, because this episode and the remaining stretch of episodes of Season 6, I can already tell is going to be my personal favorite chunk of this content, because it hits all of the sweet spots that I love about superhero stories. You can see the influences, but you can also see where the author decided to do his own thing and really craft something that's going to be memorable in this almost vigilante dark hero arc, which has me really excited for the future. I mean, I was personally worried, like a few people last week. I was wondering, oh man, did he give the message? As we were like last week, right? We had this message, hey, please tell Gran Torino. Basically, you know, give that heart-to-heart message, and he just seemingly left with a letter. But no, we get the confirmation that he didn't cut himself out completely from everyone. More so his classmates and things like that, but the core crew he still has connections with, but he's obviously keeping his distance because he knows they're going to target him. And knowing that he now has pretty good control over his quirks, especially given the fact that he doesn't even need to be in a coma or passed out or anything to talk to these previous wielders. No, in the middle of beating a giant fool to death, he actually was able to chat with someone. So there's a lot of potential for good characterization going forward, but to really see, and I think this moment in particular highlights this. It's the moment when Deku's mother is crying on the bed, and we see her in the flashback basically comforting a powerless child Deku, and then it transitions to him comforting his mother, right? Just that moment in general shows how far he's grown up. There's no more secrets, there's no more lies, there's no more conspiracies that are at play. No, it's just this is him being honest and knowing what he needs to do. And I think there could have been an argument that, okay, him separating himself, is that the smartest thing, right? He's beaten, he's broken, he doesn't have full control of his abilities. Prior to this episode, you can make a lot of arguments, but after this episode, those arguments go right out the window and get hit by a truck trying to isekai you. He seriously is doing things logical. We can see he's talented, we can see that he needs to refine his abilities. Can he do that out of school? In a normal situation, yes, training to be a hero would be fine, but when Hero Society is moments away from crumbling, what's the best learning experience? It's fighting the villains who are running amok. So to have him in pretty good control of his different abilities, we're seeing him use smokescreen constantly so he can blur out the vision. He'll then float to basically be above people. He's using whips Spider-Man style. He has his Spidey sense. He's only using, I think he used 45% of his smash attack in this episode. The way he's going about just mixing and matching so he doesn't overwork himself in one way, because any one of these abilities could easily overwhelm him to the point of knocking him out, right? Because this has like been generations upon generations of making it a stronger and stronger ability, but also has more wear and tear than most people can handle. So the fact that Deku's acting almost like his quirks are Batman's utility belt, and the way he's beating people up, I mean, literally the way he's dropping fools is the way Spider-Man or Batman will drop off their catch, being like, hey, we caught these people for you. The cops try to arrest you, what are you doing? And then they fly away or they grapple away, whatever they need to do, right? I love the fact that you can feel the influence, but it still feels like its own twist and turn of the My Hero story. And the fact that he is working with All Might and the top 3 heroes, it means that they're not being dumb about this. They recognize they need the most powerful people they can get, and Deku has honestly the most potential to be the most powerful given his variety of quirks that he can use. Is he stronger than Endeavor or Best Genius or Hawks if he went on a one-on-one? Honestly, you might be able to make an argument either way, but the fact that they're not being idiots about it and saying, okay, they're going to target him one way or another, we know how powerful he can be, this crew right here, this is who we need to work with. Hero Society is crumbling, there's not a lot left, they're literally sending students because that's all they have anymore, and to see what they were able to do with this episode, 22 minutes just flew by, man. It just was, I was watching it, I was enjoying it, and then the credits played just like that. This is pure fun. It's well-written fun, but at the end of the day, this hits that Saturday morning cartoon vibe of you're watching your favorite superheroes, your favorite superhero story, and it just feels like well-earned payoff. This has been 6 seasons in the making, and we're entering the final stage here. And the thing that I was really hoping for and thought they were going to commit to early into the season was Shigaraki would be the final opponent, or the final hurrah. There just felt like no way you could top him outside of maybe his mentor slash master slash jailkeeper, because honestly, like, are you really going to just beat him and then introduce a bigger threat? It just felt more natural that whatever happens with this arc, Hero Society, the general public, Villain Society wouldn't be able to go back to where it was, and it would be a completely new ballpark, and that's exactly what's happening. The shattered buildings, the shattered society in general, the thoughts of civilians towards heroes, it really says it all. Like, we literally saw 2 students who were just trying to say, hey, you know, you gotta go away or the villains are gonna crush you, and they would rather fight and die by themselves than trust in heroes anymore. Obviously, by the end, it's looking a little better, and I think slowly but surely you'll see little groups start trusting heroes more and more if stuff like this episode continues to happen. But if this season truly is just gonna keep showing us Deku being Vigilante Deku, just kicking butt and just really flexing what he can now do with his abilities, this is going to be my favorite stretch of this season, hands down. I'm not saying it's going to be overall objectively the best written, because I think if you look at stuff like Endeavor's content, his entire family storyline, I think that is the overall best written content that My Hero has. But in terms of a pure fun factor, what hits my like entertainment, like what is my max fun, this type of stuff right here, it just is pure fun. It's going to be action-packed, it's going to be well-written, and there's so much more variety now, and seeing how Deku actually isn't as bad of shape as we initially thought, not only how he fought in the previous battle and it didn't do as much damage even if it looked like it should have, he also has some protective gear that should make it so, honestly, by the time the rematch happens, that's when he can actually go 100% and whatever happens will happen. But this was an absolutely crazy episode of My Hero. Pure fun, great production value. It just feels like Batman Deku is exactly what I wanted to see, and I'm really excited to see where Bones is going to take the rest of the season. And of course, the final endgame stretch of wherever the next season goes as well. But thoughts and feelings yourself down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload on the channel. Of course, as I mentioned, we got the full live reaction available on my Patreon. And while you're there, you'll also get yourself a video shout out like a few are getting here. So we got Davlin, Alexander Perez, and the James SCR7. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.